Ms. Stevens is recognized for 5 minutes.
Great, thanks. Ms. Gorman, in your testimony, you talked about establishing a national technology competitiveness analytics center or analysis center. What's the importance of this? Why do we want to do this?
This is important because we need to continuously invest in our competitive advantages, and we can't do that without knowing
And would this allow us to
what they
monitor
are.
across
Exactly. Many of the conversations we're having today about choke point technologies, about China's lead in certain areas, really there isn't a good data set on where they're more competitive, where U.S. investment flows are really enabling strategic industries, supply chain mappings on where we have an advantage and that might be able to turn into an export control like with semiconductors. We're flying blind, and such an analysis center would give us the measurement tools.
So this would have woken us up to the semiconductor crisis that we fell into potentially earlier and allowed us to hone in, similar to what we're seeing on solar and even what we're living through with EV battery manufacturing technology and production right now. And certainly coming from Michigan, I know that autonomous vehicle technology is somewhere where we got to lead, but it sometimes feels like we're walking around with a blindfold. And then we've got this AI situation going on. And last month I wrote the State Department and I asked them about convening international actors to put into place these guardrails, particularly as our ranking member showcased some of the nefarious ways in which the CCP is using AI. And Ms. Gorman, I'm just wondering if you could potentially chime in, maybe alongside Mr. Vinia, around global oversight of other technology areas as we're seeing the concerns with AI and ways in which we can bring global partners together.
Yeah, certainly AI, particularly when it comes to catastrophic risk, bio incidents, AI weapons, the risk of AI-enabled warfare getting out of control. These are the issues that really do need to be top of mind for our international partners. I think in the biotechnology arena, how we responsibly innovate on human subjects as technology takes off and innovation takes off in biotechnology, what's the responsible way of collecting and storing data? Do we need privacy-enhancing technologies to do that?
We know rare earths aren't necessarily a technology, but they go into all of our technology. So would you include them in this as well? And it's probably a way for us to work with our allies in terms of coordinating on trade and dominance in this space. Would you agree, Mr. Vinia?
Congressman, I would agree, and I think it's important for this committee and the U.S. corporate industry to understand that it's naive to think that we would have any kind of agreement on any of these issues with the Communist Party of China. Now, I think to your point of having a global consensus, getting on more standards boards, understanding the complexity, and having a global aspect surrounding China might work, but there is no way that they're going to agree to anything that the United States comes to the forefront with respect to any kind of AI framework or roadblocks.
So this is a place where that it's very adversarial. This is how we have to focus on that. And I think focus is also a key word here, is that we need focus and discipline and a plan, and being sort of laissez-faire and maybe a little drunk from the trough on occasion coming into this century with really all the great innovation and proliferated technologies which we can celebrate emerged here. And Mr. Wolf, I know, given your vast investment experience, and certainly we so applaud your personal narrative, which you were generous to share, we've got this other existential threat going on that's tied to technology. I appreciate the biotech conversation, but climate change is an area where we've moved aggressively to tackle it with what was dubbed the Inflation Reduction Act and some of the critical investments for consumers and for workers and businesses. But how else do you see the United States leadership role in addressing climate change, whether we can bring along partner countries or not in terms of addressing what we need to do for climate change?
You know, the biggest issue, which I think nobody is really focusing on, I know you have a lot of talk about AI and biotech and quantum, is nuclear.
We love quantum.
Yeah, I'm quite skeptical personally. We can talk about that maybe offline.
Absolutely.
Fraught with fraud, but we'll get there, you know, in the future. Nuclear, not about proliferation, not about weapons, about reactors. And this is something that I think is very important. We used to have 104 domestic reactors here. If you are an environmentalist and you care about the climate and you want zero carbon, large baseload power, you should want nuclear. Now, I've rebranded it elemental energy. Why? Everybody loves the elements. You love sun, you love wind, you love hydro, you love rocks. These rocks are your uranium, and if you release them, you get this great exothermic reaction, and it produces clean energy. That's nuclear. Now,
Well, I'm here to talk to you about nuclear offline, but I'm over my time, and with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back. Thanks.